Recording still? Okay. Can you see the ball? Yeah, okay. What's up, you guys? Tish here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about today because if you follow my gram, you know that I like to do tips with Tish. But it's always been on the gram, and now I get to finally give you guys a tip on the YouTube. So check it out. For today, I want to make sure to tell you guys, make sure to watch to the very end of this video because I have a surprise giveaway that you don't want to miss. So let's get started. Alright, you guys, so today we're going to talk about fundamentals. Now, I get a lot of questions about, I'm just now getting into golf, should I go see a local coach, or who's the best coach that you would recommend, etc. And let me tell you this, if your coach that you're trying out for the first time doesn't teach you this in the first few lessons, I highly recommend leaving. Because one of the biggest fundamentals that I've ever learned was called GSAP, which stands for grip, stance, alignment, and posture. GSAP. It's as easy as that. Now, does this coach need to know that exact acronym? No, but if they don't address your grip, stance, alignment, or posture before you even start swinging the club, then think of it like this. If you want the best chance at hitting it straight or giving it the best chance at hitting it solid, don't you want everything you need prior to your swing to be right? So if you don't have your GSAP in line, you're already setting yourself up for failure, which you don't want to do. What you want to give yourself the best chance always. So if this coach isn't talking about this, then I highly recommend reconsidering. So I'm going to break down what GSAP means to me, and hopefully that can help you guys. Alright, you guys, let's first talk about the grip. So there's 3 different ways you can hold the club. Right here, there is a neutral grip where the thumbs are either pointing down the club shaft or they're just slightly to the sides at a 45. As you can see here, my thumb is pointing down the right side for my left hand, and on the right hand, my thumb is pointing down the left side. That's how I like to think of it for a neutral grip. You want to have these thumbs a little pinched, and it gives that little security right there. Sorry guys, my audio cut out because of the wind, but that was a neutral grip. And then there's a weak grip, which is when your hands move towards the target. And then there's also a strong grip when your hands move away from the target. But the 2 most common grips that you'll see out there is a neutral and a strong grip. I don't recommend going weak because if you think about a weak grip, to me, when you go to impact position, this is not a place you want to be because it's literally a weak hold. It's hard to hold the club from here and also give it a lot of force and energy towards the ball from this position. So again, I highly recommend neutral or strong. Now, from the underside, there's different ways to hold it as well. I like to play a neutral grip with an overlap on the bottom. So the 3 different ways are this. The overlap, just like so. I'm right-handed, so my right goes on top. My right pinky lays in between my left pointer finger and middle finger. That is an overlap grip. There is an interlock where the pinky can go in between the pointer finger and the middle finger like so. And there's also a baseball where it's literally a 10-finger grip is what they call it. This grip, I feel, is a little hard to shape shots. However, I'm not saying it's impossible to do. So whatever you feel is most comfortable. Oftentimes kids like to start with a 10-finger grip and then they move on to an overlap or interlock. It's really whatever you feel most comfortable. Think about it like this, that the only thing attaching yourself to the instrument is your hand. So you want to make sure you have a very secure grip so the club never flies out and you feel like you have full control of the club face. So for myself, I like to do an overlap grip with a neutral on top finish. So that is a different grip. Now, if you're just starting out and you don't even know where to begin when it comes to putting your hands on the grip, I'm gonna break it down for you right now. So when you're putting on your hand to the grip, you wanna make sure it kind of cuts down your hand from this soft point of your hand down to the fat part of your hand so that you're able to go like this with your left hand if you're right-handed. You should be able to hold the club like this. And from there you close it. See right here how the grip is handled on the fat parts of the pad. That's where you want it. And you know if the grip is right so that your middle finger or your ring finger is just barely touching the thick of your hand. You never want your fingers to be digging in, otherwise that means that your grip is too skinny. Again, when you're putting your grip on, you want to make sure that your hand is nice and relaxed. So right now, my left hand, because I'm right-handed, is nice and relaxed. I put it on the points that I just explained, and you close the hand, just like so. And I have a neutral grip, like I said. So for a neutral grip, you want your thumb to be just ever so slightly to the side of the club, with your thumb feeling just a little pinched, not wide open, just like that. So that's the left hand. Now for the right hand, for right-handers, if you're left-handed, do the opposite of what I say. So for the right hand, I like to tell my kids it's like putting a hot dog in a bun. So if you're putting a hot dog in a bun, meaning that your left thumb is a hot dog and the fat parts of your hand is the bun. Think of this as a bun. So if I'm putting my hand on and this is the bun, I need to match the hot dog, put the hot dog in the bun, and then I close my hands, making sure both hands are nice and relaxed when I'm putting it on the club. You never want to death grip it. That's not necessary. You want to be sure to still have relaxed arms, nice and loose. So by doing that, you need to have a grip that's enough to not pull out of your hands, but also not a death grip. So the second part of the acronym of GSAP stands for stance. Now when I think of stance, I like to think of that as ball placement, or how wide you want your feet to be depending on what club you have. So the longer the club goes in distance, the bigger the stance you want to have. So if you're just starting into golf, know that the smaller the number, it's actually the further it goes. So you start with your wedges, then your wedge, then 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So your 9 iron goes shorter in distance compared to your 5 iron. When you're starting out with the smaller clubs, the one that goes the shortest distance, you want to have a smaller stance. So right now I have a 60 degree in hand. It's the smallest club for me in my bag. So when you get set up, you want it to be just about shoulder width apart. It'll almost feel even in between that for the smallest club in the bag. And from here, I like to have my ball in the middle of my stance. I like to have an open foot too. So that's a preference if you want an open foot or a closed foot. If you have a closed foot, this is what it looks like. If you have an open foot, this is what it looks like. But if you were to put a club down, you want the ball to be in line with the middle of your stance when you're starting out with the smallest club. Or like this. If I'm facing the camera, I'm a little off. Just like this. This is middle of my stance, shoulder width apart for the smallest club in the bag. Now, the longer the club you have, the bigger the stance you want to have. And the more that you spread your feet, I like to actually keep my left foot almost in the same place from where I started with my small club. And then I gradually increase my stance by moving my right leg because I'm right-handed. And the wider my stance goes, naturally the ball will be more in front from my driver. So if I had a driver in hand, if I spread my feet far enough for a driver, it'll naturally be nice and in front of me. I can show you guys what that looks like. So right here I have a 5 iron in hand. If you want to be really logical about it, you can think of it as from your sand wedge, I'm going to inch my foot, my right foot, a half an inch for every club that increases. You could do it like that, but after a while you'll get a feel of it. So I have a 5 iron. I like this to be a little more in front of me. It's a little wider than my shoulders, just like so, and it's closer to the front foot. So that's a 5 iron. Now I'm going to show you what my driver looks like. So obviously the ball will be teed up. It's not teed up right now. But if it was my driver, the driver is where you have the biggest stance. You want to have an athletic stance too. So right here, it's pretty wide, outside my shoulders, nice and in front. It's in line with the inside of my heel because I like to open my foot. So it'll look just like this for a driver. So smaller the club, smaller the stance, starting at shoulder width apart. Longer the club, the more in front of you it is, and the wider your stance is. And when I say in front of you, that's what you call it when the ball is closer to your lead foot. So that is stance. Okay, you guys, now let's talk about the third part of the acronym, which stands for alignment. This alignment is everything. Literally, if you want to shape shots, your alignment is important. If you want to hit it straight, your alignment is important. I also get a lot of DMs asking, how do you fix a slice? Or how do you fix a hook? Well, firstly, check your alignment because there's a good chance you're already way off. So I'm going to show you guys, if you're just now starting, how to line up to a ball. So by alignment, I mean this. You want to make sure that when you're setting up, I have a stick down right here. This is to help with alignment. When you're lining yourself up, I highly recommend putting down a stick towards your target so that you can help visually see how to line up your body. So I have 2 sticks here. This is what I would normally just put down if I'm practicing on the range, but I put down a club in front of the ball because sometimes I feel as though people struggle with lining up their stick because they think that, oh, I'm just gonna line up my stick a little left of the target so then my ball will be directly at the target. What is most important is that the line of your ball is pointing at the target. And if it's not that, like if this was pointing at the target, if this stick was pointing at the target, my ball would then be going a little right of the target. Make sense? So that's the first part, lining up and getting ready to prepare yourself for the best chance to align with the ball, especially if you're on the range and you're just practicing. So when you're lining up, you want to get into your nice grip that you just learned. I have a 50 degree, so it's going to just be in the middle of my stance, shoulder width apart. And from here, it's lined down the middle for my stance. But when you line up, you want to make sure your feet, your knees, your hips, your shoulders are all aligned towards the target, which is why I recommend putting a stick down. So, you know the song, head, shoulders, knees, and toes? Just like that. Make sure your head, shoulders, knees, toes, and everything, your hips too, is lined up equal to your target. So I feel like everything's nice and lined up. I have my feet, my knees, my hips, my shoulders, and now you want to make sure, of course, your club face is square to the target. If you don't know what square means, square is when the leading edge of your club face is pointed towards your target. The leading edge of my club face is pointing towards my target, just like so. And if there was a line from the leading edge of my club face down the middle of my stance, you'd have a perfect letter T, just like that. So, square face, square body, got my grip on, alignment is good, and stance is good. That is how you align your club to the ball. Last but not least, let's talk about posture. So there's a lot of ways that this can be taught, and again, a lot of it is for your own comfort, but this is a routine that I have learned that has helped me replicate the same exact GSAP every time I walk to the ball. So here's the way I handle my posture. Check it out. So first, I get my hands on the club, just like so, and then I allow my arms to feel nice and attached, and my club is nice and equal to the ground from here. And if I had a belt buckle at the end of my grip, the butt of my grip would be pointing at my belt buckle. From here, take my whole body, bending over from the hip till I touch the ground like so. With slight knee bend, I walk to the ball and I spread my feet. And that way, no matter what club I have in the bag, I have the same posture and same setup every single time. It's a lot of times problems come from standing too far from the ball, standing too close to the ball. So this way, when I'm from here and everything's equal, this is facing my belt buckle if I had one, and I bend over till I touch the ground with slight knee bend. You need to have the knee bend. Then walk to the ball. I'll always be the same distance apart because I know exactly the way my arms sit, especially if the butt of my club is always pointing at an imaginary belt buckle. So from here, I have a slight knee bend. You spread your feet to the proper stance that you need, and this is the way it looks. So the reason why I like to do this as well is because if my club is parallel to the ground, pointing at my belt buckle, and I bend over from there, I feel like I'm at a nice 45-degree angle. If you learn in physics and in math that things actually move at a more efficient rate from a 45-degree angle. So I feel like I'm at a 45-degree angle, and obviously I'm not going to be perfect, okay? I get set up, I feel like I'm at a 45, pointing at my belt buckle, my hips are nice and bent over. And if you bend over, and you touch the ground, but your hips, your belt buckle is still pointing straight, you're now actually setting up for a swing that's set up on a flat plane, kind of like a baseball. Your hips need to get tilted over because your swing is built on a plane. So your hips need to be in line as close as possible to that plane to give you the best chance to give you a great swing. So it'll look something like this. From here, you want to make sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Oftentimes, teachers have told me, oh, you got to straighten your back. I don't believe in that bullcrap because if you straighten your back, you now are limiting your turn. If I'm not relaxed, I can't turn as much. If I'm forcing it straight, I'm stuck right here. If I'm relaxed, I can turn it way, way more. So from here, I strongly recommend having relaxed shoulders. It almost feels like it's rounded, okay? Like rounded shoulders. Arms are nice and hanging, just like so. I've already measured myself to the ball, and that's the way it looks. And make sure you have a slight knee bend. That's the athletic part. It'll keep you stable. Your GSAP is now all in line. You're nice and relaxed. Arms are hanging, and everything is aligned towards the target. You're now ready to finally make your swing. Well, that's it, you guys. That's GSAP. That is all you need to know to get you started before you start swinging the ball. Whether you're just now getting into golf and you're a beginner, or you feel like your swing has become astray and you don't know what's going on, go back to the fundamentals. GSAP is the easiest way to remember it. Again, grip, stance, alignment, and posture will help you get back on track always. Also, can't forget, if you made it this far to the end of my video, firstly, thank you very much. That's awesome. I appreciate you more than you know. And again, I just said in the beginning that I'm doing a giveaway, and so I promise to not forget. I am giving away a brand new COBRA SPEEDZONE driver. That's right, I'm giving a brand new one. You can have it as long as you are subscribed and you like my videos, and also you have to comment down below what kind of content that you'd like to see from me moving forward on the YouTube to get in on this giveaway. Again, a brand new COBRA SPEEDZONE driver just for you. It's not even out yet. It's only out for pre-sale, but you can get it before it's even out. How cool is that? The new infinity face is absolutely amazing. It's a COBRA SPEEDZONE head with a men's regular shaft, and I'll be giving it away to one lucky winner. Check it. And lastly, of course I have to end with this, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications button so that you don't miss a beat. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for the next video because I'll be announcing the winner then. Bye guys!